Welcome to an entire episode dedicated to lefties losing it. Let's start with the monumental and rather bizarre meltdowns in the US over July 4 celebrations. It seems this Independence Day has really brought out the real loons of America, like this delightful woman. Or maybe it's a man, or perhaps a they. Maybe you can figure it out.
If you are somebody who has been saying Free Palestine and is also celebrating 4th of July today, you are being a hypocrite. You cannot be against settler colonialism and genocide while also celebrating settler colonialism and genocide. And the two biggest reasons that people will give me is, oh, it's not about that, it's about my traditions. Well, one, who wants traditions that are based in white supremacy? Two, your traditions are not more important than liberation. The second reason that I always get is, well, it's about freedom. Freedom for who? Not Indigenous people, not Black people, not disabled people, not queer people, not women. Who? For who? Whose freedom are you really celebrating besides white, cis-het, non-disabled, wealthy men?
You're a hypocrite. I mean, wouldn't you love to invite this they, them, she, her, he, him to a party? Clearly the life of every celebration. And take a look at this American who says the American flag makes him feel uneasy until he spots one that's right up his alley.
So we're visiting in upstate New York near Poughkeepsie. Lots of farm country. Lots of American flags and Blue Lives Matter flags, and it was really making me uneasy. And then we came to this cute little town called Hudson. I guess it's a famous whaling town. And I see a lot of flags like this. Totally felt my nerves come at ease. Isn't that interesting? I'm not even gay.
Macho, macho man. Well, there's a door. It's open for you to leave. And imagine being so triggered by the American flag, you burn it, like this woman.
I'm not proud to be an American where I know that I'm not free. And I won't forget the ones who took my rights away from me. But I'll gladly stand up and fight for us in every single way.
Well, love, if you don't think you are living in the land of the free, we'll get you a one-way ticket to Iraq and see how you go over there. Now, it wouldn't be a pride celebration without Queers for Palestine, would it? Yes, that old group plucked out of nowhere, and really for the people who are just tragically sad and confused. After all, it's a crime to be queer over there, but don't worry, it doesn't apply for the Queers for Palestine. Have a look at this transgender man dressed as an Indian woman dancing while waving a Palestinian flag. Wouldn't you love to see him belly dance his way onto the Gaza Strip, shimmying his way through the enclave? That'll give him a real freedom of expression experience, along with this guy. Shaking those hips, draped in a keffiyeh. I wonder if he would be allowed to shake his hips in downtown Gaza while using that scarf to cover his modesty. These people are so understimulated. Has anyone ever seen a pride rally in Palestine? Nope, because there are none. Now, if you were ever confused about a person's pronouns, don't know who they are or what to call them, don't worry. This person has got it all figured out. Now, here is a lesson in how many things you can identify as at the same time.
When I wear this one, it means that I just go by they, them. When I wear these two together, it means I go by she, them. When I wear these together, it means I go by he, them. When I wear all of them, it means that I go by all pronouns. And when I wear these together, it means that I go by she, him. I'm gonna wear them all right now because I go by all pronouns right now.
Yes, in the morning I'm a boy, by lunchtime I'm a girl, by the afternoon I'm no gender, and then by dinner I'm a mix of them all. It's like a lucky dip. The derangement is astonishing. Now, the left is obsessed with being friends and allies of the trans community, except apparently when the tables are turned on them.
Beautiful trans women out here, tell us about your transition, how it went.
Can I hold this, please?
No.
So I have a question for you. Why are you asking me those questions?
Like we're interviewing like trans women and stuff like that.
I'm not a trans woman. I'm a...
Oh no, we're fully supportive. Do you want to talk about sort of transitioning or anything like that, or like what people
I
can?
never transitioned because I was born a woman.
No, of course you're a woman. Of course.
Does it make a trans woman any less of a woman?
No, you are 100% a woman.
I'm not a trans woman.
Is there another definition that people like to use, or?
You thought I was a man?
Isn't it enlightening that the moment she was called a man, she suddenly knew exactly what a woman is? They love to latch on like leeches, don't they, to any cause that makes them feel special and relevant. Oh, but not when the shoe is on the other foot. Now, to the most admirable woman going around, J.K. Rowling, for not being afraid to speak up about transgender issues. And it seems she is living rent-free in the minds of men who like to dress like women.
So it's really sad that she is consumed by this incredibly deep, made-up bigotry. You know, this made-up narrative that causes her to be an obsessed 24/7 person caught up in bigotry. It's like an uncle on Facebook or whatever that's just consumed by this untrue, hateful narrative. And I honestly empathize with Harry Potter fans who are going through that grieving process. And sometimes when someone becomes a complete and utter, total, hateful bigot, you need to let that person go.
Yes, Harry Potter fans, let that person go. Was that a eulogy as someone died? And what's it got to do with an uncle on Facebook? Tell me, why are these people so sad? Joe Biden has reached unprecedented levels of what can only appear to be dementia-induced cringe. How did he celebrate the 4th of July? With Christmas wishes for all Americans.
We give thanks to our Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, the extraordinary President of the United States, Joe Biden!
Ho, ho, ho! Happy Independence Day!
Oh dear, this is a shocking look for someone desperately trying to convince us he is not a potato. And in more tragic scenes, Joe has revealed he is not a man, but a woman, a black woman at that.
By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman, served with a black president.
He's also given us a new rendition of the Time Warp.
I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020.
Who's going to tell him, you or I? And to top it all off, the president appeared to descend into some sort of weird trance at a church gathering.
Now I found was blind, but now I see.
Let us stand together. Oh,
at the cross, at the cross,
where I first saw the light,
and the burdens
of my heart
rolled away.
The totally unhinged, borderline uncomfortable rant from the president of the National Education Association, the largest teachers' union in the United States.
We will keep going forward because we are the NEA! We are the NEA! We are the NEA! And that's what we do!
And what you need to do, Becky Pringle, is be locked up, far, far away from children, that's for sure. Now, where have I seen a tirade like this before?
Blood alone moves the wheels of history!
Never gets old, Dwight Schrute. Now to one of the alleged stars of the Marvel series She-Hulk, a feminist Disney remake. Yep, we know Disney know how to pick 'em. Well, actress Tatiana Maslany has blasted a parental rights law which requires schools get consent from parents to change their child's name or pronouns.
It should not be the control of the parents whether a child, how a child identifies, how a child knows themselves to be. That isn't a parent's place. It's an overreach. It's an overreach on the part of the provincial government to legislate that. It's absurd.
No, what is absurd is you, Tatiana. Now, speaking of derangement, the old gender benders. We love nothing more than when they keep coming up with brand new, lucrative ways to describe themselves.
You accept that you're a male. Yeah, every trans person, every trans woman, I mean, is like, yeah, I'm a male woman. Why can't you be a male woman? Like, that's what y'all don't understand. No, yeah, I'm not saying I'm a cis woman. I never said that. I'm just saying I'm a male woman. Just treat me like a woman.
A male woman. Cute. It's kind of cute, isn't it? And newsflash, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. Now, if you are looking for gender-neutral terms to call your family members, good news. This is the help you've been waiting for.
Dear Dolly, are there gender-neutral alternatives to terms like niece and nephew and aunt and uncle? Yes, there are. A gender-neutral term to replace niece or nephew is nibbling. It takes sibling and uses the N from niece and nephew. It was actually coined in 1951 by Yale linguist Samuel Martin. And similarly, we have pibbling, parent sibling, the P from parent, and sibling, pibbling, to replace aunt and uncle.
I mean, can you imagine? Please let me introduce you to my nibbling and my pibbling. Oh, nibbling, could you please stop nibbling and pass the peas, please? And stop nibbling, you're on our last nerve. Now over to our friends at The View. What would a Lefties losing it be without Whoopi Goldberg? Well, she's back out there fighting the good fight for Joe Biden, and she's given the president quite the glowing endorsement.
I don't care if he's pooped his pants. I don't care if he can't put a sentence together. Show me he can't do the job, and then I'll say, okay, maybe it's time to go.
Lucky Joe, what a great advertisement. And look, at this point, Whoopi should have just really stopped talking. But she went on, and we heard more about her own bowel issues.
I have poopy days all the time. I step in so much poo you can't even imagine.
Well, that explains why Poopy Goldberg is so full of you-know-what. What else would we expect from the same woman who thought Jill Biden was a real doctor? Remember when she said this?
I'm hoping Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. His wife. Because Joe Biden's wife, because he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
They never learn, do they? Now, from one loon to another, MSNBC host Joy Reid has had a mentally deranged meltdown over Donald Trump.
If it's Biden in a coma, I'm going to vote for Biden in a coma. I don't even really particularly like the guy. A lot of his policy, don't like him. He's not Donald Trump, right? Yeah. Hitler, White House, we keeping him out, keeping Project 2025 out. That's all I care about. Up and down the ballot, from the rooter to the tutor, school board, all the way up to White House and everything in between. Governors, members of Congress. I'm just going to vote all the way down to keep these people out.
This woman is clearly broken. I mean, I've been wondering, how far can someone like Joy Reid spiral down? What's her limit? I thought maybe she was already there, but no, she just keeps spiralling. Her derangement knows no bounds. Joe Biden has called into his friends over at MSNBC in a desperate attempt to prove all is well, but ended up sounding like a drunk, incoherent mess.
The reason I've been on the road so much all over the country, and while Trump is riding around in his golf cart, filling out his golf cart before he even hits the ball. But anyway, he hadn't been anywhere in 10 days. I've been all over the country.
Yes, all is well. He then really went off the rails.
Come on, give me a break. Come with me. Watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more. But if any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce the president. Challenge me at the convention.
Did Hunter Biden help him write his interview notes today? And just in case we needed more evidence, the White House is babying the leader of the free world. They announced the president will hold a big boy press conference.
After that, the president will hold a press conference, I guess a big boy press conference is what we're calling it, and take some questions from y'all.
This week, President Biden will speak to national labor leaders of AFL-CIO, host the NATO summit to show the unprecedented strength of our alliance, hold a press conference, a big boy press conference.
Yes, he's a big boy now. Will they teach him to potty train next? I'm sure Dr. Jill will be on standby to help.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
Speaking of, who is actually running for president? It's stage mum, Dr. Jill.
For all the talk out there about this race, Joe has made it clear that he's all in. And just as always, as he has supported my career, I'm all in too.
I bet you are, Dr. Jill. Well, self-help trends just keep getting more bizarre and, quite frankly, are getting more concerning. Check out this so-called masculinity retreat where men fork out $10,000 to float around in a pool, hug each other and cry.
Tears cleaned my soul and I cried. Took a cup, fill it up with you, with all the joy and the sorrow and the fear. Oh, I let myself cry.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is actual vision of Democrat congressmen in November when they realised they left it too late to change the nominee. Meanwhile, in Bali, where white rich women film themselves screaming, all in the name of spiritual self-discovery. You know, I've seen something like that before in a movie. It's called The Exorcist. Now, lefty activists are always coming up with new and nifty ways to entertain us. Here is Activism Animal Rights Musical Edition.
I am a cow, chicken, and a pig. My entire life I've been abused and crammed into a very small, dark place where I can barely move my body. I go mentally insane from the boredom. I live a life of nothing but suffering. I am forced to live in my home and leave.
It's quite catchy, isn't it? I've got to say, though, if anyone has lived a life of suffering, it's him. Now, speaking of activism, Ben & Jerry's, the ice cream company that is not only woke, but whose flavours are a flop, just released this new ad.
You can make progress by doing the things you love.
If you can farm, fight food deserts. If you can surf, surf for racial justice. Like to read? Start a banned book club. Protest with an ice cream cone or project new meaning on an outdated statue. Get in a costume, but try not to get arrested. You have the tools for doing good, and the greatest tool is your own unique flavor. Ben & Jerry's.
Make some mother truckin' change.
I think the only change needed is sending these lunatics out of business. Now, here's a surefire way to ensure Joe Biden loses in November. Enter Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I have spoken to the president over the weekend. I have spoken with him extensively. He made clear then, and he has made clear since, that he is in this race. The matter is closed. He had reiterated that this morning. He has reiterated that to the public. Joe Biden is our nominee. nominee. He is not leaving.
Well, that settles it then. It's over for Joe, especially when you have AOC backing you. Remember this rally a few weeks ago? Yes, her brain capacity is genuinely at the same low level as Joe Biden's. And the left-wing media, who have finally realised the president is indeed mentally incompetent, have been plunged into a state of panic. It's only taken them 4 years, but they now know he is a potato. And so suddenly the race is on to trundle out doctors left, right and centre to make urgent medical diagnoses.
There was cause for concern, stumbling of speech, sort of confused rambling at times, and then also motor symptoms, lack of expression in the face. If you take a look, slow response time, I think we saw that, sort of in a sustained fashion. Definitive word retrieval mix-ups, rambling, sometimes confused speech, reduced voice volume as well, and reduced facial movements.
Because he has just such classic features of neurodegeneration. I mean, word finding difficulties, and that's not, I couldn't find the word. That's from degeneration of the word retrieval area.
Good to see they've only just realised he has the cognitive ability of a pea. They never learn, do they? Now, safe to say we've all had bad hair days, but Democratic Representative Maxine Waters had hers live on air when she had some technical difficulties with her wig.
Democracy about the fate of the election, and yet Trump is not only winning, but winning increasingly by a larger margin. So what is the plan among Democrats to change that trajectory? It sounds like you're talking about saying and doing all the same things, but do you believe that something needs to change?
Watching Maxine desperately try and fix that Yorkshire Terrier on top of her head has truly been the highlight of the Democrat campaign so far. Pity, though the wig is about as useless as Joe Biden. Now, speaking of hair, if woke is your personality and you are looking to get your hair done, well, behold, we have found the hairdresser you have been waiting for.
Okay, is it okay if I touch you? Yeah. Okay, cool. And what are your pronouns? They, them. She, they. I'm glad we exchanged those. Yes. Okay if I touch you?
Go right ahead.
And what are your pronouns?
He, him.
She, her. Thank you for asking earlier. Spin you around here. Is it okay if I touch you during our consultation? Sure, that's fine. And really quick, my pronouns are she, they. Did you feel comfortable sharing yours? She, her. Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Is it okay if I touch you during our consultation?
Yes, it is.
And my pronouns are she, they, if you were comfortable sharing yours.
They, he.
It's all very polite, isn't it? But I've got to ask, how else are you supposed to cut someone's hair if you can't touch them? Are there any wireless options perhaps that we don't know about? I mean, in what world would you go for a haircut and not actually consent to having your hair cut? Well, this might explain it. Here is the delightful character who owns the place.
This is just my version of what it looks like to be comfortable getting your hair done, babe. It doesn't have to be more crucial than that. Say no if you like. That would be perfectly fine. Because you know what? I am here to teach you that you are in charge of your hair, you are in charge of your body, and by proxy, you are in charge of your destiny, sweetie.
Okay, and you are crazy, sweetie. Now, gender reveals are a parent's dream, a moment where they find out their child's sex for the first time. Surprise! What a special moment for mum and dad. Look at what they've created together. They must be proud. Now it's time for more gender identity guessing games. How do you decide whether you're masculine, feminine, non-binary, or even identifying as an animal? Well, this feral cat gives us an insight into those tough daily struggles.
Mostly I feel feminine or non-binary. Today I'm feeling really femme and cat-like as well. Yeah. But I also feel masculine, mostly boyish. I don't ever really want a woohoo. I'm proud to have a hoo-ha. But I also, sometimes want to take these guys off. But other times I'm happy to have them. I love to play with them. I love them. Other days I want to tape them down.
Look, it's tough, isn't it? I mean, most of us just have to decide what we eat for the day or what we wear, but not for these people. They have to decide whether to tape or not to tape. It's a real struggle, apparently. And it wouldn't be a Lefties losing it without Chief Loon herself, Joy Reid, having yet another mentee bee over Donald Trump.
All that matters in this election, the only thing that matters in this election, is keeping Donald Trump and Project 2025 out of power. Keeping that insane ideology of white Christian nationalism and white supremacy and white male Christian dominance out of power.
Yes, the clown show just keeps rolling on with old Joycey Reid. That's it from me tonight. We'll see you again next week.